Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you a 10-minute full body routine. So feel free to follow along, save this video and rewatch it. I recommend this routine as your morning mobility routine or evening mobility routine. This is going to be especially useful for anyone that maybe doesn't have a routine right now and wants to address everything generally. If you do have a specific issue or mobility restriction, you may want to consult your physio and you may want to emphasize certain things or avoid certain things. But this is a good general foundation, kind of the spine of the mobility routine that you can kind of modify and work with as you go. So let's follow along. I'm keeping an eye on the time. We're going to try and keep this about 10 minutes. This is not only for soccer players, so this is a good general routine for basically anyone looking to get started and stay limber. Okay, so we're going to start with the neck first. You're just going to basically do this half circle, the semicircle, going down in each direction. You don't really need to work on looking up. You could do a little bit of them. You could do a little bit of this upward movement and stop if you have pain. Of course, that goes for this whole routine. I won't keep saying that throughout the routine, but yeah, if you have some pain, just keep it at like a 1 or 2 out of 10 in most cases, and make sure to check with your physio. Okay, so about 5 of these in each direction, and that should be good. You can then tilt your head to one side, let that opposite arm drop, and you're going to feel a nice pull on one side of the neck. Okay. Then stretch to the other side, and again, let that opposite arm drop. You're going to feel a good pull in the side of the neck. Okay. We're going to work a slightly different muscle next. You're going to look down to the armpit. Opposite arm this time is going behind the back. All right. And switch, other side. Down to the armpit, opposite arm behind the back. If you're doing this before a workout or as a general mobility routine, you can hold these muscle stretches for about 5 to 10 seconds. But if you're doing something specific and you're trying to increase the length of a muscle, let's say in theory, or you are trying to do something after your workout where you can actually enjoy like a longer stretch without affecting performance really, then you can actually hold these way longer. You can go for like 30 seconds to a minute and beyond. But for the purpose of this routine, mobility routine, something to do in the morning quickly, we'll keep them short and sweet. Okay. Next, we're going to move to the shoulders. So I'm going to get you guys to do big circles going one way. We're just going to do 5 in one direction and then switch. So I just want you to kind of rotate going the other way. Big circles going right up to the ears and then pushing down as you go around. A couple more. This should feel really good. This is working the shoulder girdle, like the shoulder blade. Okay, so next we're going to get into the mid back. Now, one thing to know about the mid back is it's really necessary to keep it mobile and twisting. Actually, most of the rotation in the back comes from the mid back as opposed to like the neck and the low back, right? And so you're going to do these rotations nice and gentle. You don't really want to crank it necessarily, right? You're just kind of going slow with control. If you don't have a lot of good mid-back rotation, it could be that your neck or your low back ends up compensating. So keep that in mind, and another reason to incorporate this mid-back rotation. All right, we're going to do something similar with the hips, where basically we're just going to cover this, rotation sort of movement, but you're not twisting anymore. I'm going to get you to do circles with the hips. You're going to go one way for about 5 to 10, and then the other way. This works. There's sort of circles happening at each hip joint, so this works all directions of movement. That's a good best bang for your buck sort of rotation from the top down. So it's just a closed chain way to get the hip joints moving. Should feel good. It's a good low back mobility movement as well. about 5 to 10 in each direction. Okay, we're going to move into the hips, and we're going to actually go onto the floor next. I recommend you get a yoga mat, just because this might not be very comfortable if you're doing it on a hard surface. All right. So starting with the hips, we're basically going to bring both knees down towards the same side. So you're starting at like a 90-degree angle at the hip and knee. You're bringing both knees down towards the same side. I don't want you rotating your body too much. Okay, so your whole body is not really moving that much, but just the thighs. And you're going side to side like that. Again, 5 to 10 reps. You can really spend some time with this, and this kind of covers your general hip mobility. I've seen people recommend going slowly, one leg at a time. So you could open it up like that and then close one leg, open it up, and close it. I'm really okay with either of those. I think the most important thing about mobility routines is to actually do them. So don't worry too much about the nuances, as long as it feels okay for you. Body's pretty resilient, so like making those little adjustments, I mean, there's probably a purpose behind them, and I am a little bit more nitpicky in person when I work with my clients, but just to reassure you, see how it feels, do it, and you're going to notice some improvements. Okay, so we did some hip movements. We're going to actually do something that'll combine knee movements, ankle movements, and you're actually going to stretch and get the nerve moving as well. So I like this one a lot. You're going to just grab the back of the thigh and straightening your leg up as high as you can while your toes are pointing up towards the ceiling, and then down. Push that heel towards the ground, keeping the toes up towards the ceiling, and then again. Okay, doing about 10 of these. Now, if you're feeling tingling or pain that is getting worse, especially as you go, you definitely don't want to continue through that. So you want to run it by your physio, because this is getting a nerve moving, and it is technically a treatment for like sciatica and that type of stuff, but I would never prescribe something generally over a YouTube video for something like sciatic syndrome, because everyone's very different and you could very easily overdo it, or you might not be doing enough. I really recommend a more individualized treatment plan, but this is something that is done for some sciatic nerve patients. Okay, and you're getting your ankles kind of stretching up and stretching back like that. Okay, good. So that is a general mobility routine. It gets the joints moving. All right, so you can basically end the video here and finish your mobility routine here. I'm just going to spend another few minutes just for my soccer players especially, but anyone can do this, targeting different muscle groups in the legs, because I find a lot of the younger soccer players, they still haven't quite had the opportunity to learn how to stretch different muscles, feel different muscles, depending on like what their experience has been. If they've been in a team setting with limited attention towards that, they might not have that literacy. So I just wanted to go over that. This will take another few minutes. But if you enjoyed that mobility routine and you just want to take that home, go for it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, please. That means a lot for me. Okay, so let's get into these different leg muscles. So with the butterfly stretch, you're going to feel your groin, okay, and that's a good one. However, sometimes, I'll show you from the side, sometimes my players are really tight and they end up really like slouching a lot, or they just can't bring their legs in. Another way to stretch the groin that I like, you guys can try it, is in this sort of kneeling frog sort of position, and you can modify it as you like. It's kind of like the splits, I guess, but with your knees bent. A little bit easier than the splits, definitely less nerve stretch. And you can modify, you can go backwards, you can forwards. The groin muscles, they work in different planes too. So, rocking forward and backwards is a good thing to do. And you could find one specific, spot that feels like you need to stretch it a little bit longer. You can hang out there for a bit. Okay. Groin muscles, really important to keep flexible. And just a reminder, guys, these muscle stretches for soccer players, you don't want to stretch these for like a minute before your games, okay? That's not really how you prepare for a game. This is good to do afterwards, especially. I'm tucking one knee back. I'm going to show you a little bit better here. Tucking one foot back to bend the knee. And this is for the front of the thigh, or the quadricep muscle group. Now, if you don't feel a stretch, there are actually some, especially some of the younger players that don't really feel this. So you can actually still get a good stretch out of it, even if you're pretty flexible. Here's a couple tips. You can bring your elbow down, okay? So leaning back a little bit more like that. That'll open this up and stretch it out more. You can try to emphasize pushing your hip forward, okay? So there's a lot of different ways to do it. And if you still don't feel a stretch, well, that's fine, and it's good. You can still do it, but you may not actually really need to. You might have that range, more than enough range there. Alternate, so switch sides. Spend 5 to 10 seconds doing it just to kind of open it up, bring some awareness to the muscle. But if you really need to lengthen something and really address the mobility on something, you'll have to hold it for much longer. So in that instance, that's where you hear like, oh, did you stretch after your workout? Did you stretch after your game? That's a time to really spend a longer duration in your stretch. Okay. So we did the groin, we did the front of the thigh, the quadriceps. Let's get the hamstring. So a couple nuances here. I find that some players, if they lack some mobility through their body, through the nervous system, if they lock out their knee, they straighten their knee, and especially if their toes are also pointed up towards the ceiling, they may not be able to go too far. They might also be feeling the whole sort of nerve tract there, okay? Instead, to feel the hamstring, I'll actually get you to point your toes forward a little bit, bend the knee a little bit, and lean forward, and you should feel a pull in the hamstring there, okay? This should only be in the back of the thigh. All right, let's try the other side. Bend the knee, point your toes, and stretch. Nice and easy. We're almost there. I would say let's just cover 2 more muscle groups, and that'll basically cover your whole lower extremity as far as the major muscle groups. So we're going to do the calves and the glutes. All right, so let's start with the glutes since we're lying down. Nice and easy. This one doesn't have to be complicated. You can just go halfway and pull across your body. I like this one. Another variation you could do is this figure 4 stretch. Put your hands between your 2 legs and pull. One hand goes through between the 2 legs, and then the other one from the outside, and you pull. Okay? Pull your bottom leg towards your chest, and you're going to feel a stretch on that top leg. Okay? So 2 ways to stretch the glutes, and you don't need to do more than that. For the calves, I've seen it done a few different ways. You could use a partner or a wall in some cases, but if you're just on the floor, middle of the field, let's say, and you're trying to stretch the calves, I like this one. You're trying to push, let's say I'm stretching this one. You're trying to push your heel down and foot back behind, if you like, and that should give you a good stretch. If you don't feel a stretch, you can come up higher, okay? You could do that one with the back knee bent, okay, or back knee straight, and it just works 2 different calf muscles. All right, so thanks for watching, guys. First half of the video is great for anyone looking for a general mobility routine, and it covers all your joints. Well, not all your joints, but covers a lot of the main areas of the body. And then that second half of the video will just help you hit specific muscles in the lower extremities. I just wanted to add that in for some of the soccer players that follow me, but anyone can do that as well. Again, I'll say it one more time. If you have any specific issues, run it by your physio. This may not be appropriate for everyone. Okay. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, please. Thank you.